let me share with you what little that I do know that somebody can come along with later and do a better expose and corroboration, or tell you which things they like and which things they didn't. As far as information, you kind of have to go on a trust but verify. Like, that's a Reagan statement, and there's an even more real statement than trust but verify, that which Reagan came out with, which is no one is allowed to trust any perspective that came from. They have to. Well, that is the same thing as trust but verify. You can just say, "Don't trust." Don't put nothing past nothing, because nothing is what it seems. That's more what it is than, because okay. Back in the 1860s, there's like three parties. It wasn't a two-party system. There was the Northern Republican, there was the Southern Progressive, and the Southern Democrat. And then there was the Reconstruction. So it's not the conspiracy stuff that the liberals and progressives want to stay away from, because I think in some senses where where the masses can come up with a lot of hyperbolic suggestions and make you seem crazy, and they've been hiding behind that and mixed in with the children and the old people. So because they're not really menacing. They're like menacing in a way because they can vote, but they're not really bad people. It's just what they're going to do with their vote, and don't make them feel too bad about what they do. You know what I mean? Because that is encroaching. What if they got a head full of nonsense and they can justify their vote based on, well, wasn't fair because I was filled with a head full of nonsense? Then, you need to be cool and lighten up on them then, because they're still rocking with the right team. They're just not on the right side. So they don't mind you talking about conspiracy, but they won't talk about simple, basic things. Like, since the Reconstruction, there hasn't been as many black people in political roles in Congress and the House of Representatives and state and local, and and land ownership was usurped during the raid from is it Grant's raid? Well, the Union Army raided a lot of land and that was owned by black people. So I told you I don't know a lot of things. Somebody else can help me out, okay? Somebody else can come along and be like, you missed a spot. Fine. So be it, because I assume that there's more things I don't know than I do. Since the Reconstruction, something happened where similar to today, the goalpost was shifted between what is left wing and what is right wing, and the party allegiance has tried to ramrod at least, or sweep something under the rug, and there's no, this idea of centrist is a total fallacy. No, there's no such thing as an apolitical human being, and nobody can be a centrist. So at some point in time, someone's going to tell, it's time to pick a side. But until then, there's going to be a lot of people who are not, who probably shouldn't be, who probably aren't the one to tell you. And Southern progressive, and the Northern Republican became the Democrats, and the Southern Democrat became Republican. And it's backlash for the swing vote and the outliers, mainly the black vote. There can be new outliers to come later, but we always had the backlash from voting. Whoever's successful is successful. Then we absorb the what's it called, retaliation, reprisals, from the community who lost the election. And I'm not saying that's the reason why there shouldn't be voting. I'm not afraid of the backlash. It's because they're gonna move and switch the goalpost again in the future. So that is more concerning than, because nobody makes it up out of here. Everybody dies. So people die for what they believe in. People give a lot of energy toward what they believe in, and that's well and good. And they need to be honored for that. And that the next generation shouldn't tell you who you should admonish and who you should venerate and who you should, all this kind of stuff, because we already do it naturally. So don't make a wager or speculation as to what you're willing for it to happen now, just to show what you mean, because it's probably something where you can understand anybody would succumb and capitulate because of the tactics. You know what I mean? Like trying to drive something underneath your fingernails or something, where it doesn't make any sense anymore, and you can say anything, and they're still trying to figure it out. And every day that goes by, it's like the least among us are trying to pound something in that should be second or first nature, that as if there's still some political capital to gain from solving this conundrum for all of us dumbass peasants who couldn't fit. You must be led because you're just like children or something. Okay, but then copy whoever speaks to all because they can't speak to all the children, so whoever does, then they're going to copy him. So Peter Pan, basically. Aren't you guys supposed to be religious?